my goodness. I've been trying to get my camera adjusted and I'm just not having much luck with it. I don't know what's wrong. I'm playing with it and playing with it. Anyway, here I am. We're good to go. Everybody get on in here. There is fun to be had today. It's a purple day. And I've ordered a new mic. A new mic clip. I need it to point straight at me, the microphone, and I don't have a place to clip it. So I've tried different things and nothing's working, so I'm going to try this. See if that helps. Anyway, I made another video for you if you hadn't seen it yet. It is the cookie one. But I need your help. I really do need your help. And the help I need is, what do you want me to teach you to cook? Think about it. What would you like to learn to cook? And if you will list everything right here. I just dropped my feather duster. There we go. If you would, let's start making your fried chicken tonight for dinner. It's easy. We went out to eat last night, and we went to this restaurant called Tupelo Honey, and they've changed their menu. And they had something called pancakes and something. Anyway, it was sweet potato pancakes. Well, I can't imagine how you make sweet potato pancakes, but I can imagine because it probably isn't hard. You just put you take a leftover sweet potato and scoop out the insides and put it in your batter, and you got sweet potato pancakes. You know, if you want banana pancakes, put bananas in your pancakes. If you want chocolate pancakes, you put some chocolate in your pancakes. I saw a little video yesterday where they took pancake batter and put it in a skillet and then put some Nutella in it and put some more pancake batter on top of it, and you had Nutella in a pancake. So it's just according to what you want to play with and what you want to do. It's okay. It's okay to play with 15 cents worth of flour and milk. You know, you can have fun. So write in the comments what you want me to teach you to cook. Is it homemade macaroni and cheese, Southern style? You know, is it pinto beans with ham? Yeah, collard greens. I'll be doing that closer to the New Year time. I'll show you how to do collard greens. Just think about it. Oh, I got to turn on my other one. So whatever's pinned there, I can't see it, folks. And I can't reach it because I've raised my camera up higher. I don't want that to happen. I've turned all the comments off for some reason. Trying to unpin that with my stick, but it's not working. Oh, I tell you what'd be good to learn. Chicken and dumplings. Yum, yum, yum. Now, I don't like chicken in my dumplings. Oh, that sounds awful. I want dumplings. As Tammy's son and I, when we used to go to Cracker Barrel, I would want chicken and dumplings with a side of dumplings with my chicken and dumplings. So, folks, I don't like chicken with my dumplings. I just want dumplings. Is that the carb addict in me? Yep, it is. But chicken and dumplings is a good comfort food, and you can't have it often. I can't have it often. But when I do want it, I'm going to cook it. Macaroni and cheese is another comfort food. But you gotta have the basics of cooking. You just have to have the basics. And my camera's still crooked. There we go. Maybe that's gonna straighten it up. I may just have to raise my chair up higher. I might try that too. Anyway, so I'm looking at myself and I'm just crooked. I may have to get another clamp. So here we go. Robert's going to bring me home ham, and I'm going to cook a ham. But I'm also, I forget. I moved things around. He's going to bring me home a ham, and I'm going to show you how to make pinto beans. Pinto beans are easy. Easy, easy. You got to follow the directions. You know, we think we're supposed to know everything, so we refuse to read the instructions on the packages. Well, guess what? The packages know what's best. The company that has put these beans together has paid somebody to come up with the right directions, and they put them on the package. Now, for every cup of beans, you use 6 to 8 cups of water. And there's a quick way to do beans, and there is a slow way to do beans. The slow way to do beans is to put them in the crock pot in some water and let them soak overnight. Drain the water off, put more water on it, and cook it. And you just add your seasonings. Now, you can add onions, you can add spices to your pinto beans, but I like just ham and pepper. That's about it, because the ham's got plenty of salt. And if you've got some pieces of country ham in your refrigerator, put one of those in there. My grandmother used to use hog's jaw. Hog's jaw. You buy a hunk of salt pork and put in it. So there's lots of ways to season your beans, but my favorite way is to cook a ham. And I cook my ham in my crock pot, and I let the juice run. I cook it for about 4 hours in my crock pot. I get a small ham. I take it out, and the juice that's left over in the pan, that's what I cook my beans in. And they're the best pinto beans you have ever put in your mouth. I only found this out recently. Just recently did I find this out. So, I turned on Siri. So I don't know what that pen thing was because I couldn't see it. It's got to be copied and pasted and put into Slack, folks, so I can see it. I can't see it because they've done something different. They've done something different on our little live feed on my end. Pinto beans, that's comfort food. You've already learned how to make cornbread to go with that. If you wanted to make jalapeno cornbread, you could chop up some canned jalapenos and a can of corn and put some cheese in it and stir that up and put that in a skillet. Now, if you can't use an iron skillet, use a 13 by 9 pan or a cake pan, according to how big your family is. Main thing is you got to cook it, and you whip it up and cook it. And don't be afraid. If it doesn't come out of the skillet, so be it. Take it out like a pie. It's just about keeping it simple. Some people can't use iron skillets because they have high levels of iron in their blood. Well, the doctor recommends not to use an iron skillet. But if you're anemic, use an iron skillet. It's good for you. Let's see, what else can we cook? Macaroni and cheese. I'm going to teach you how to make mac and cheese from scratch. Yes, you heard me right, from scratch. And it's all it takes is butter and flour, milk, and I keep powdered milk in my pantry all the time to whip up these sauces and stuff. And I keep cream on hand all the time, whipping cream on hand all the time to do sauces and wonderful things. I'm going to teach you how to make my heart attack mashed potatoes. Yes, I'm going to teach you. Robert's bringing the potatoes home, and it'll probably be this week sometime. Because it's a month out from Thanksgiving, and I can put my potatoes in the freezer. How about that? What else can I teach you how to make? I've taught you how to make biscuits. There was an email that just went out the other at 10 o'clock, and there was a link in it to the playlist on YouTube for all my cooking videos. And these aren't professionally done. These are just me in the kitchen teaching you how I would teach my granddaughter how to cook. And maybe one day she'll be using these to teach her child how to cook like Nona. So folks, it's all about just getting in and doing it. Just doing it. Mashed potatoes, the longer you mash potatoes, the stickier they're going to be. So you don't want to mash potatoes a lot. You don't. That's why I have a tool that a friend gave me when she was moving, and she didn't use it much. It's called a ricer. And I boil my potatoes whole with the skins on. I wash them real good, but I boil my potatoes whole with the skins on because I think that preserves some of the nutrients in the potatoes. Potatoes have a lot of potassium. And put that in the comments, Karen, if about the homemade rolls. I'll show you how to do that too. And how to have fun with it, because homemade rolls and monkey bread and all that stuff is great at Christmas time. I'm going to show you how to make these things and how to adapt it for all kinds of things. But back to the mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes are easy with a ricer. You boil them whole, cut them half in two, put them face side down into the ricer and squish it. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And then you can add butter. You can add, and I only use white potatoes for mashed potatoes, not red potatoes. They get waxy. You use red potatoes for country fried potatoes. You want them to stay together. You use red potatoes in soups. But if you have leftover mashed potatoes, you can use that for a base for soup. I might have to teach you how to make potato soup too. When you're hungry, you just want to cook everything. And I haven't had any breakfast today. Let's see. What else do we want to learn how to cook? Cinnamon rolls and homemade rolls. Those are fun. Then I've been experimenting with homemade roll dough and freezing it, but I haven't been consistent. It hasn't been good. Yes, cream cheese, sour cream, butter, and cream in my mashed potatoes. They're heart attack mashed potatoes. I love them. Then let's see, what else is some more comfort food? Well, I've showed you how to make hamburger. Now, one of the things when I was frying the chicken I forgot to tell you is I use this buttermilk and flour concoction. You know, put the buttermilk on stuff and then put flour in it for everything I fry. Everything. From country fried steak, tenderized steak, little pieces of steak, pork chops. Pork chops are amazing. In fact, somebody asked me for my pork chop recipe one time after I made them for him. His wife said, "How did you cook those pork chops?" And I had to tell her it's buttermilk. It's just buttermilk and flour, and you brown them in a skillet, and then you put them in a pan and cook them in the oven the rest of the way. and they're just smother fried. Well, Vicky, I have never made tomato gravy, but I made white gravy the other night at the end of the fried chicken recipe. Yep, made sawmill gravy. That's what we call it in the South. So pork chops, and if I have okra, which I love okra, I pour buttermilk all over the cut up okra, and then I put cornmeal on top of it, and then fry it. Green tomatoes are the same way, buttermilk and roll them in cornmeal. I do my mushrooms. If I'm going to fry mushrooms for New Year's Eve, I do mushrooms the same way. You can also do mushrooms. You can make a batter of water and flour and dip them in that and fry them. That's a good way to fry stuff. So buttermilk is usually the coating that I use on all things that I batter. And it works. How to make vegetables taste better? Well, the way you make vegetables taste better is bacon. Bacon makes everything better. When I make my collard greens, I start with bacon. When I make Brussels sprouts roasted in the oven, I use bacon bits on them. When I make green beans, I start with bacon. And if you don't have bacon and you've saved some bacon grease, a little dollop of bacon grease will make them all taste better. So folks, save your grease and put it in the refrigerator so it doesn't get rancid. Tomato gravy is good over homemade biscuits with bacon. I've never had tomato gravy. Never had. I've never had chocolate gravy, but I do know how to make it. So roasting vegetables with bacon, steaming vegetables so that you don't cook all the stuff out of them. So I like to either roast vegetables. Green beans have to be cooked to the nth degree for me. I like my green beans to just be not another drop of liquid and you kind of scorch one bean. That's the secret to my green beans, but they start with bacon. And I also, if I'm going to steam something or cook it, like my green beans and my collard greens, it's 2 cups of white wine. And it cooks all the alcohol out of them, but there's just a touch of sweet to it. My grandmother always put a teaspoon of sugar in everything, but I don't want to put sugar in it. So I just use wine to make things taste good. And salt and pepper and a little cayenne always helps too. Making a cheese sauce, this basic cheese sauce I'm going to teach you how to make, is good for broccoli, it's good for cauliflower, it's good for everything. And a good cheese sauce has a touch of mustard in it. Dried mustard. I know you don't believe that, but my husband taught me that one. Because he makes something called cheese glop for our celebrations. And it's a spinach dip with a basic cheese foundation and lots of spinach in it. So I'm getting excited for the holidays to teach you how to make the things that I'll show you how to make my favorite broccoli salad. I mean, eating vegetables raw is really good for you. And I cut the tips off of broccoli, so I got little broccoli florets, and it's got bacon in it, and it's got mayonnaise, and it's got balsamic vinegar. I'm going to give you a little tip here. Today's Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday, and it's clean out the refrigerator day. And make surprise chicken. Now, another thing you can do with those little bits of jams and jellies in the bottom of a jar, like let's just say you have some raspberry jam. If you will pour some balsamic vinegar into that jar and shake it up, you can make a raspberry vinaigrette quite easily to throw on your salad. So have fun with playing with those little bits of leftovers in your refrigerator. What else do I cook for things? I got to finish making the dressing for you. I really got to do that. I may finish that today. But I'm getting geared up for cookies. I don't know why I want to bake cookies. But in my new book, right here, the Chaos Cure, it's got cookie recipes. It's also got how to adapt things for brownies. And did you know any cookie recipe you have that you like can be turned into a bar, a cookie bar that you would cut up like a brownie? Think about it. You just take the dough and pat it into an 8x8 or a 9x9 pan and then cook it. You may have to play with it a little bit to get it to the, take it out and see if it's too not done enough. I don't know. You want to use the brown. I like gooey brownies. Robert likes crispy brownies, and he gets the edges and I get the middles. So write down all the stuff you want to have. Liz and Patty will put together a list for me, and I'll start checking them off one at a time. One at a time, and we'll get this stuff made. I love helping you learn how the basics. I mean, everything from white beans and pinto beans to black beans and rice, you name it. And I always like to take my bones from my chicken carcasses, and if you do a roast chicken, pull all that stuff off the chicken carcass, put it in a pan of water with onion scraps and celery tops and all kinds of stuff, and put it on and cook it. And if you use a crock pot, cook it for 3 days, and you'll have the best broth you've ever put in your mouth and you can cook with. It's wonderful stuff. It really is. So, folks, let's have some fun cooking. I'm going to make some more things for you. Chicken fried steak. Fudge is easy. It is so easy. It's called Magic Fudge. And it's a can of Eagle brand milk and chocolate chips. That's pretty much it. Eagle brand milk is sweetened condensed milk. Sweetened condensed milk. I do need help with, it's just boiling all the goodie out of your chicken carcass. Turkey carcass the same way. I mean, I have even made chicken broth from wings. Just throw a big pot of wings in and just cook them. Cook them, cook them, cook them. The email about the allergies had a link to the cooking videos. But it's on YouTube. It's one of the playlists. You can go find it on our YouTube channel, The Fly Lady, and it's a playlist I've just set up. I did 5 cookies last year. I did chocolate chip cookies. I did oatmeal cookies. I did pecan sandies. I did gingerbread cookies, and then I did a fruitcake cookie. Because Robert loves fruitcake. I have never heard of canning chicken thighs, but I would love to see that done. You know how to cook. If you're canning chicken thighs, you know how to cook. I have got nothing to teach you if you can can chicken thighs. Yeah, we got a lot of videos on YouTube, and there's a lot of playlists, back to basics, all kinds of stuff. But I just started this kitchen thing, and there's 13 videos on there already. Yes, I gave my cookies as gifts last year. I got some pretty paper plates that were plaid because that was my theme for Christmas last year. But I've ordered some little tins this year that have, like you would take leftovers out from the Mexican place. And I'm going to put cookies in that this year. So I've already got my tins ordered, ready to go. So folks, I'm getting excited about Christmas. I might even show you how to make cafe mocha. Would you like that? Homemade cafe mocha. That could be fun. So everybody, let's put our aprons on. I've got 3 or 4 of them. My brother-in-law made for me. And let's get to cooking. Because that's the only real way we're going to save any money to be ready for the holidays, is to cook. Now, do you know how to make meatloaf? I'm going to teach you how to make meatloaf. You get some ground beef, hamburger meat, whatever you want to call it. And you put some Worcestershire sauce in it. You can chop up an onion, put it, but I would make it really small. Chop up an onion and put in it. I have made surprise meatloaf, and this is fun. You can put a couple of cheese sticks in the middle of your meatloaf and make the meatloaf around it. I have also done meatloaf with potatoes. If you have some leftover mashed potatoes that are cold, cut them into into the size of a stick of butter and stick that inside your meatloaf. And you slice it up and you got meatloaf with mashed potatoes right there. Great way to use up leftover mashed potatoes. Another good thing to do with leftover mashed potatoes is to put them in the crock pot with some chicken broth. Cut up another potato into tiny cubes, like little half-inch cubes, and cook it in your crock pot. And you could add some grated potatoes like you would do with hash browns. And put some grated potatoes in there. So you got mashed potatoes, cubed potatoes, and shredded potatoes. And cook it in the crock pot with the chicken broth. And then when it gets, you might want to put some onion in it or some chives. If you've got some dried chives, that'll do good too. Put that in there and some salt and pepper. And then right before you get ready to serve it, put some cream in the crock pot. Doesn't take much, just to make it good and creamy. Serve it with potato pancakes. Now, let me tell you how to make potato pancakes. If you'll watch my video on how to make cornbread, make cornbread. Hoe cakes is what I'm going to teach you to make, not potato pancakes. That's a different way. That's something else you can do with leftover mashed potatoes. Whoever just asked me the question, I can't help you if you don't ask the question in the chat and somebody will post it. I can't help you if you don't write the question down. You take the cornbread and you make it a little thinner. And you get your skillet good and hot like you would with regular pancakes. And just do a scoop, about 1/3 of a cup, into. And one good thing to do is to put your batter, make it thin enough so that it pours. And then you make these pretty little hoe cakes. And they go well with the potato soup. It's fall. I like to make soup when it's fall. And my potato soup is some of the best in the world. Because the recipe came from one of my favorite restaurants from long ago. And it's just simple. And you can't mess it up. It's potatoes. And it's really good if you have coming off of a stomach virus. It's really good if you're coming off of not being able to eat much. But don't put cream in it. Don't put in cream in it. You might want to, so just keep it simple. One of the good things you can have after a stomach virus is, I'm on a roll here, is grate a potato and put it in some water and just cook it. And then you just got the starch. You just need to get something in your tummy. Just get something in your tummy. Okay, folks, I've been talking for 30 minutes. I may get in this kitchen and make you something. How do you make? I put it in the crock pot. I use leftover mashed potatoes. I use a red potato, and then I use a grated potato. A diced potato and a grated potato. And you may have, according to the size of your family, you may need to have 2 or 3 or 4 of them. Well, I can't help it if I'm talking about a stomach virus because, it's a fact of life. We all get them. We really do. And you got to be prepared and know, have you put together your beach bag? You need electrolytes. Are all cast iron pans alike? Somebody asked. Cast iron is cast iron. Now, you can get some that have an enamel coating on them, but I don't really look at that as being cast iron. It's heavy, but it doesn't give you the benefits of just the black cast iron. Is a crock pot the same as a slow cooker? Yes, it is. Crock pot is a brand name, which is trademarked, so I use the term slow cooker. I work full-time Monday through Friday and run a business, and then it went away. How do I season my iron skillet? Okay, here's the easy way to season your iron skillet. You set your oven at about 300 degrees, 350. There's a video on YouTube. If you'll search for that, how to season an iron skillet, you'll get it right. If you buy a brand new iron skillet, it'll tell you how to season it. The main thing about it is to turn it upside down. Wipe it out. Wipe it really well with, I like to use a good oil or Crisco, either one. And I wipe it top and bottom and turn it upside down in my oven with a cookie sheet underneath it to catch any drippings. And then let it sit for an hour until it dries out. And your skillet's seasoned. It's real simple. And to keep it seasoned, you can't really put it in the dishwasher. You can't do that. You won't ruin them, but you'll have to season them all over again. You can't, I don't put them down in dishwater, with hot soapy dishwater. I don't do that. I clean them out without using the dishwasher and without using the sink of water. And I wipe them out really good and put some water through it, and then I dry them. A good way to do it is just to set them back on the eye with the eye on a little bit till they dry immediately. I keep my iron skillets in my oven all the time. No soap. And I have cleaned my iron skillets in my fireplace. After many years, they get a little crud on them, and I like to just make them brand new again. Can you quickly go over your split pea soup? Well, everything starts with bacon. And split pea soup, you get a bag of split peas and follow the directions on it. And I start with bacon and then put the split peas in the bacon with some chicken broth and let it cook. And it's really good. Now, I have a story about split pea soup. It's a comfort food for some people. One time, I made a pot of split pea soup, and I was going to have a cup of it for lunch. And I had a brand new computer. And evidently, when I put it in the cup, I put a bubble in it. And it burped about the time I got over the top of my computer. And it spilt on my keyboard. And what you do then is you flip your computer upside down. So I have a rule: I can't have food around my computer anymore. You can fix any iron skillet that's been messed up by a loving family member. They just didn't know. But you need to share with them that you have to re-season them because you don't want them getting rusty. And the seasoning helps keep it from getting rusty. So everybody, let's have a good day. I'm going to go in there and cook something. I may teach you how to make rice or who knows, who knows. My husband's bringing home a lot of potatoes. So I might make the mashed potatoes. Let's see. Oh. Okay, everybody. I'm trying to get my Slack up. It's gone dead on me. Sister Patty's posting lots of stuff and I can't see it. I think I have too much Wi-Fi. I don't have great Wi-Fi in here. How do you bring it back to new again once they're rusty? Do a Google search for how to season a cast iron skillet. And there is a wonderful page on Facebook that's all about iron skillets. I love that page. But you scrub it out with steel wool and get all the rust off, and then you wipe it out with an oil or a Crisco of some kind, or lard. Lard is the best. And you put it in a 350 oven turned upside down. That's how you do it for about an hour. Let's see. I would put my bacon grease in the refrigerator, Patricia. I know our grandmothers used to leave it setting on the counter, but I want stuff refrigerated. Hoppin' John recipe. Hoppin' John is just black-eyed peas with onions. And Leanne gave me a recipe once upon a time. You make black-eyed peas and they're dried peas. Follow the recipe on the bag. That's the main thing. Anything that's dried usually needs a lot of water added to it. So follow the recipe. Hoppin' John is easy. And it's easy just to open a can too. If you don't really like. We eat Hoppin' John on New Year's Day. You have to eat collard greens and black-eyed peas for New Year's Day. I think that's all I've got going here. Early voting started in North Carolina last Wednesday. If you're in North Carolina, a lot of places are early voting right now. Check your local election commission to find out. And I didn't turn... Well, that keeps the grease from pooling in the bottom of the skillet when you turn it upside down. So y'all go vote. Know what the amendments are for the Constitution. We have 6 of them in our... North Carolina election, so I've got to study those. I've already studied the judges. I know who I'm going to pick there. Cooking's fun when you spread it out and you don't try to cook too fast. There's one big rule for us. Don't cook on high unless you're standing right over it. And I use my crock pot for everything. For making soups, making stews, everything. Because I don't have to stand over it. I just get it done. I boil potatoes. I boil... this is on top of the stove. I turn things on high. I boil potatoes. I boil pasta. I boil... That's about the only 2 things. I don't even boil eggs. I bake eggs. I need to do a video of my eggs. Angeled eggs. So you'd have that. And they work really well to make deviled eggs. Angeled eggs. So folks, I love you all. I will see you tomorrow, if not sooner. If I decide to bake something and get on camera, I'm going to put my apron on and turn on my video for you. I will talk to you later. See ya.